an equation for a line when we can tell you three ways, okay? So this is the second way. General form. It looks like that. Work. There we go. Okay? So there's your x, just like there. There's your y, just like there. Here's your constant. Maybe that's why they said c, which is just a number. It's not this. It's not the y-intercept. It's just some number. Okay? A is also some number, and b is also some other number. There's no meaning here. It doesn't tell you the slope, doesn't tell you the y-intercept, doesn't tell you an x-intercept, doesn't tell you anything. Okay? But you need to know how to make this look like that and this look like that. That means manipulating it, i.e. algebra. Okay? So, example. By the way, some books call it standard form. Who cares? Okay? You just need to know, looking at that, all right, your test is going to say general form. That's how you need to make it look. Okay? Because on your formula sheet, there's all three forms, but it doesn't say, yoo-hoo, this is general form, make it look like that. That's slope y-intercept form. The other one, slope point form, doesn't say those in English. Okay? And you're not allowed to write them down. Okay. What form is that again? Colton? That's what that says. But in English, slope y-intercept form. Yeah, because it's got the slope, it's got the y-intercept. Okay? We need to convert this to this form. And by the way, A, B, and C need to be integers. And what else did I miss? And, not if possible, A needs to be positive. Okay? A's got to be positive, and they all got to be nice integers. You know what an integer is, right? Like nice whole number stuff. Those are integers. Can be 0, okay? But it can't be 2.5. Can't be a fraction. Got to convert it. So, where do you start? You got to make it look like this. The x is first, the y is second. A number, if it's there, is third, and then it equals 0. Okay? So, all these guys, we got to chuck them to the left side of the equation because I want it to say equal 0. Okay? So how do you get 5x from that side of the equation to the other side of the equation? Subtract it. Right? Because then, on the right side, it's gone. What's 5x take away 5x? No x. How do I get negative 8 to the other side of the equation? Add 8. Okay, what do we have left on the right side of the equation? Nothing, which means 0. Okay, so that looks like this. Now I got to sort x first, y second, the number third. Okay. Minus 5x first. There's y plus y. Didn't leave enough space. Okay, and there's my number plus 8. I'm almost done. What else do I have to do? Okay, these are integers, but again, A needs to be positive. It's not positive. Okay, and here, let's go over this. What's A here? A is minus 5, right? AX, minus 5x. B is, there's no number in front of the y. Therefore, it's a 1. Okay? B's 1. C, there's C. C's 8. Okay? It all looks like this. How do I make negative 5 positive 5? That would be negative 1/5. Remember, I can do whatever I want to in an equation. Hey, that'll work. Okay, I can do whatever I want to an equation. I could multiply this thing by 1 billion. I could multiply it by 33. I could subtract 28 from both sides. Okay? I could divide both sides by pi, if it's helpful. As long as you do to one side of the equation what you do to the other side, it'll work. What could I multiply both sides of this equation by so that that becomes positive? -1. All you're doing is flipping every sign. Okay? Negative times a negative, there we go. Now it's positive. Okay? -1 times y, it was positive, now it's negative. The 8 was positive, now it's negative. And what's 0 times -1? Well, it's still 0. Okay? Now, it's exactly in, we're not calling it that, we're calling it general form. Okay? ax plus by plus c equals 0. Okay, so let's just write it for this one. A is 5. It's an integer, it's positive, we're good. B's -1, C's -8. Okay? So there's lots of ways to do this. Again, math, like I said, we got 3 equations for a line. I could show you 5 ways to do this. I'm not going to do this with every equation, but here's another way to do this. Okay? You see how this, here's what we got. Let me backtrack. 5x. That's A. Is it an integer? Yes. Is it positive? Yes. So how about we leave them there? Let's not move them to the other side. Let's bring the y over here. So then I have 5x minus 8, okay, minus y to both sides. That's how I bring it to the other side. And what's left there? 0. Well, is that the same thing as this? If this thing's equal to 0, then this thing is equal to 0. Is that a little quicker? For sure it is. Okay? So, again, when we're doing this algebra stuff, okay, I can do whatever I want to both sides. How do I solve this for x? That's -2 times x. How do I get rid of times? I divide both sides by that, okay? And it's, by the way, that's -2, of course, okay? If I just want to make that x positive, I could just throw him to that side of the equation, right? That would be like adding 2x to both sides. It's the same thing, isn't it? And then to solve that, I mean, I wouldn't do it this way. I'm just trying to prove a point here. 4. If my x's are over there, I got to put 4 over there. So I could subtract 4 to both sides, or here's what I'm trying to say. The thinking is, if you just throw something onto the other side of the equation, you can do that as long as you change the sign. Okay? So this can make things quite a bit quicker if you're doing all these equations. And then, of course, I would divide by -2. X is still, or sorry, +2. X is still -2 either way, right? So there's lots of ways to do this. This is pretty involved. This way was pretty quick, right? But if this is the way that makes sense to you, then hey, that's the way you're going to want to do it, okay? Put everything to the left, so you have a 0 on the right, but then you got to change the sign to make it positive. Okay, y is 2/3 x plus 7. Does that 2/3 have meaning here, Bailey? What's the meaning? What form is this in? That says y equals mx plus b. So 2/3 is the slope, right? 7 is the y-intercept. This has meaning. We got to convert this to general form, right? These don't have any meaning at all, okay? So again, why are we doing this? Because you're told to. That's the only reason. All right. These all have to be integers. How do you make 2/3 an integer? Okay, you probably haven't seen this before. Here's a little trick. Nobody likes fractions, right? How do you get rid of the fraction? Again, I can do whatever I want to this equation as long as I do it to both sides. What could I multiply this thing by to get rid of that 3? 3? Whatever you do to one side, do to the other side. So I'm going to multiply everything by 3. That's 3y is 3 times 2/3 x plus 3 times 7. Okay? Did I do it to both sides of the equation? Yes, I multiplied both sides by 3. What happens with these 3's? What's 3 divided by 3? 1. Or, if you like, 3 times 2 is 6, divided by 3 is 2. Either way. Hey, no more fraction. That makes life a little nicer, doesn't it? Okay, so I have 3y is 2x plus 21. That's exactly the same linear equation as this thing. Okay, if I put those both on my graphing calculator, you only see one line because the other one will be right on top of that one. Okay, it's the same thing. But it's a nice little trick to remember because, okay, this is the only way you can do it. I got to have these as whole numbers, right? So now I just got to rearrange it, put it in this form. Okay, how would you do this? I'm not going to do this 2 ways, 3 ways, all right? If you like this way, then you're going to still do it that way, like move the 2x over to here, change the sign, move 21 over there, change the sign, but then you're going to have negative 2x and you got to make it positive. How about I just take 3y and throw it over to that side? Okay? What happens if I do that? I got to change the sign on 3y. Okay, that's the same as subtracting 3y to both sides, right? Minus 3y there, it's gone. Minus 3y there, and then what do I have? 2x minus 3y plus 21 equals 0, and I'm done. Okay? Is that in this form? Yes, it is. Everything's an integer. A is positive. That is the 2. Why do I do this? I point with my finger like you guys can see it. Okay? This is positive, the 2. Okay? That's in general form. All right? How about this beast? 2 fractions. Whoopee. Like, why waste any time, right? Let's just get right into it. I got to put that in general form. How would I get rid of that 4? Well, how did I get rid of this 3? Times by 3. Let's times by everything by 4. Both sides of the equation. So let's write it out like this way this time, okay? All right. That would get rid of the 4. How would I get rid of the 5? Let's do the same thing. If I multiply everything by 5, that 5 will be gone. Okay? Let's see what happens. Let's move that over there somewhere. Okay, so I got 5 times 4 times y. That's 20y. Okay? This 5 times 4, now make sure you got to bracket that. It's times that side of the equation. Everything on that side of the equation, right? So that's 4 times 5, that's 20 times negative 1/4 x plus 4 times 5 is 20 times 3/5. Okay? So again, I multiplied every term here by 20. Or think of it this way. The lowest common denominator between 4 and 5 is 20. Right? Okay? That's how you do it. That's how you make them all integers. So 20y is, what's negative 20 divided by 4? negative 5, or I prefer 4 into 20, 5 times negative 1 is minus 5, x plus, what's 60 over 5? Yeah, 5 goes into 20 4 times, what's 4 times 3? 12. Okay, no more fractions. Just got to rearrange it. 5, negative 5, that's a. That needs to be positive. So throw him over to that side, make him positive, and I got to get rid of the 12 too. Throw him over there. Okay, 20y stays there. That's positive 20y on the left side. It's still there. Okay, 12 becomes negative 12. And then on the right side, I got nothing left. Okay? I didn't take the 20y anywhere. Okay, again, how do I get rid of negative 5x? Add 5x here, add 5x there. Right? This is gone. I got 5x. Okay? How do I get rid of this 12? Subtract 12 here, it's gone. Subtract 12 there, and it's on this side of the equation. Okay? So these are gone. There's the equal sign. What's on the right-hand side of the equal sign? Nothing and nothing. Okay? 20y is on the left side of the equal sign. It's still there. Okay? I didn't move it anywhere. Yeah. Okay? You know, there's not a lot of space here they give you to do this, do they? Okay? So again, let me repeat that because, you know, I know this is tricky. Add 5x to both sides. That's what I did. Okay? Minus 12 to get rid of it. Minus 12. What do you have left here? Equals nothing. All right? And on here, this side, I got 5x, 20y, minus 12. There it is. That's in general form. Yeah. Yeah, see? Then you would have that. But what do I have to do still? Yeah. So let's multiply everything by negative 1. 0 is positive 5x plus 20y minus 12. I get the same thing. But this way was 2. But hey, if that's the way your brain works, do it. You just got to get the mark, right? Okay? All right. So, now we're giving it to you in general form. Simple question. What's the slope in the y-intercept? Does that thing tell you what the slope in the y-intercept is? What does? Matt, turn that off and put it away. Slope, intercept form does, okay? I want to put that in that form. And if I do, then I'll know the slope and I'll know the y-intercept, okay? So those last three, we went from slope y-intercept to general. Now we got to go to general to slope y-intercept. How do I put that in that form? That thing is solved for y, isn't it? It's y equals everything else. That's where you start. Okay? So I could go negative 5y. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to kick that over to the right-hand side. I'm going to subtract minus 25 to both sides. Okay? Right? Everybody okay with that? I just bring 25 again, put it on the other side of the equation, and change the sign. Okay? That's the same as subtracting 25 to both sides of the equation. Okay? 2x. I want to chuck that over there too. How do I get rid of 2x? Subtract 2x to both sides. It'll be gone on the left, and it'll be on the right, minus 2x. Okay? So that's y equals mx plus b. It's closer, but again, remember, this has to be a 1. How do I get rid of negative 5? Divide it away. Okay, and then I want to change these guys, what order they're in. So that's now y. I want to do this first to make it mx plus b, not b plus mx. So negative 2 divided by negative 5. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. And does 5 go into 25? Yeah. Plus 5, right? Negative divided by a negative is a positive. Y equals mx plus b. What's my slope? 2/5. What's my y-intercept? 5. Done. Okay? Okay. This one easier? Or harder? Or just as ugly? Yeah. The rest of you are indifferent. Okay. Let's do this the slow way. I want y by itself, okay? Let's get rid of 6x. Minus 6x to both sides. Okay? So 2y minus 15 is minus 6. Everybody okay with that? I want to get rid of minus 15. How do I do that? Add it to both sides. Okay? Gone. 2y is minus 6x plus 15. All I got to do now is get rid of the 2. That says 2 times y, so divide it away to everywhere. And y is minus 3x plus, that doesn't go in there evenly, so just leave it like that. Leave it like a fraction. Okay? What's my slope? Negative 3. What's my y-intercept? 15 over 2. Could you graph this thing? Liam? Liam? Yeah, sure. Like I said, I was doing this one the slow way, right? Okay? So, kick 6x over to the other side. Okay? Kick the minus 15 to the other side. Do you get the same thing? You sure do. It's a lot quicker too, right? Okay? So if you're okay with that, yeah, do that. And if you're still, hey, what the heck's he doing? Oh, I'm lost.